Welcome to episode 2 of the Curated Nest podcast, where we are talking to Lauren Deakin, a colour obsessed designer. We're talking about items in our homes that have got special stories, about how to put our personal stamp on a rented space and the challenges that that can throw up, and about connecting with the atmosphere of a space and the feeling that it gives you. So grab a cuppa and enjoy the chat. You are joining us for episode 2 of the Curated Nest podcast. And today we have Lauren Deakin with us. Lauren Deakin is the designer and founder of Dopamine Design Co, a brand fueled by colour, character, and a love of all things vintage. A self confessed upcycling and colour addict, Lauren creates bold, dopamine boosting prints and homeware that bring big personality into everyday spaces. With a background in textiles, print, design, she handcrafts seasonal collections and one of a kind pieces, from painted vintage lampstands to botanical prints, as well as bespoke commissions for homes and indie businesses who want something truly unique. Inspired by the layered charm of William Morris and the playful maximalism of House of Hackney, Lauren's work is all about recharging your space with energy, story, and a little bit of magic. And you can explore more of her world at dopamine-design.co.uk. Welcome, Lauren.
Hi, thanks for having me. It's so weird having that kind of read to me. So weird because you just do your day to day, don't you? And then when I had to sit down and like write my bio and stuff, I was just like, I don't know what to write. This is really weird.
Yeah, it's like you just get on with your stuff, and in your head, I think a lot of the time it's like, well, this is just what I do.
Yeah,
Um, and then when you have to actually explain it to someone and introduce yourself, it feels a bit alien. But
yeah.
that's fabulous intro for a fabulous lady. So
Thanks.
thank you for joining us. Do you want to? I know you've just had that fabulous intro, but do you want to just like introduce yourself a little bit more? Tell us a bit more about like you in general, what you love, what you do.
Yeah, well, I am a self confessed colour addict. I love colour. I love just, yeah, everything. I love going and scouting around, blinking vintage and car boot sales. I absolutely just love eclectic maximalism. That's what I'm going to call it. Um, but a lot of people, I suppose, don't know what that means. Maybe they do. I don't know. Depends if you're in that world or
What
not,
does
I
it mean
suppose.
to you?
All the things that I love that make me who I am, because we're all not just like cream and beige, are we? You know, we've all got this kind of things that we love. And sometimes, like, putting all that together can look a bit like a charity shop, right? You got all these
Yeah.
different things going around. And so I think, in a way, one of my like skills and things that I love is like putting things together and how they come to life as a, like behind me, like it's such a mash, but I love it. It's so quirky and cool and me. And and I think when you love your home and you love your space, because you put your personality into it, that's what makes a house a home. I think, like, for me anyway.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's that curation of the space. It's not, I think a lot of people think that maximalism is just throwing everything
Yeah.
at a space, when in actual fact, um, there quite often is a lot of stuff. It's quite busy, but it's
Selective.
curated. It's selected stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bold colours, but it's colours for a purpose. Yeah, we'll dig more into that as we chat.
That, it's
Um,
it's mad where my brain went then when you asked me to talk more about myself and I chatted about that. It's interesting.
yeah, yeah. But I think what's lovely about doing these chats sometimes is that you just naturally start talking, and things sometimes come out that you haven't consciously thought before.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I love being on podcasts and
Yeah.
why I've started my own.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
let's jump into all things home. What is your favorite thing about your home? I know it's a big
Oh, it's a
question.
hard question.
It's a hard question.
That I feel kind of relaxed and calm, and it feels like a home. Like I was saying about putting my stamp on my home and not being afraid to be me, you know. Um, it's a really hard question. What do I love about
Yeah.
my home?
I mean, quite often, like, I
Everything.
yeah, when I talk to people about this, it is more about a feeling. It's not
Yeah,
a specific, like, item. It's, yeah, it's the way it makes you feel and how so is
yeah.
it, like, the fact that you feel really at ease and relaxed in your home because you have made it yours?
I think as a creative, that having a safe space for yourself to feel because I work from home. My partner works from home as well, so we've got this kind of whole dynamic going on, and it can be quite stressful and chaotic and very busy. And so, for me to be able to walk into a space and be like, "Oh, I feel like I can just shut the door for 5 minutes and feel like myself," but
Yeah.
also I feel like there's certain times of the day where I prefer a certain room. Is that weird? Like
No, that makes sense.
like in the day, I don't really like going in the living room because it's quite a dark room. Like the sun's on the back, so it doesn't, it'll go to the front kind of late afternoon, but it's still quite a dark room anyway. But then it kind of comes to life at night when I love candles and fairy lights and I like love it and it all comes together. So I love that room for that. But then like in the day, I'm in the kitchen quite a lot at the moment, so like this kind of space behind me, I just like I love it. Like I've got to have my light on all the time, and like it is technically our bar, but
Nice.
it's yeah. But I've got like my painting caddy there at the moment. But yeah, it's like I said, it's a hard question because there's certain rooms in the house that I hate going in. I'm just like, shut the door. Because like it's just not my space. Like upstairs in my partner's office, for instance, that no. Or like the kids' room, it's like, oh no. And like but having like a sanctuary, so I'd say like my favorite rooms, I would say is because of the certain times of the day, my bedroom, the kitchen, and the living room. I would have thought probably quite a few people might say those as well.
Yeah, I think, well, they are naturally places where we gather, aren't they? Because they are
Yeah.
those communal rooms. Like what you're saying about you don't love sort of being in your partner's office or the kids' rooms because that those rooms are not tailored to you. They're not You've not created them for your energy
Yeah,
and your relaxation. So it makes sense that like you're
exactly.
happier in other rooms.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I have Betsy, because AKA my caravan, because that is gonna be my sanctuary. I probably won't wanna come out. So we're in there all the time.
I think it Do you think it'll be really nice as well because you'll be able to separate the workspace from the home relaxation space?
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. Like honestly, you have no idea. And like I'm going in there literally after speaking with you now because there's like an order of things we need to do because there's a few things that are rotten in there, new painting, new flooring. I'm so excited to just go in there, shut the door, have a candle on, and just be like, "Ah, no dogs, no partner, no kids," and I could just be like, "Oh, this is my space." I mean, admittedly, it's on the drive. It sounds a lot more like fantastical than it actually is. Um, but for me, I'm just gonna have all the blinds shut. am in my little world, you know. But
Yeah.
just walking into a studio space that I can shut the door on, you know, I've got my little sewing area, I've got my little area that's my wall mood board for my new collections, and, you know, a little painting table, some, you know, just my space that I haven't got like a freaking Lego head on. Like, you know, oh, it drives me nuts, you know. Or an organized pile of letters. You know, I can't cope with it.
Yeah.
I've gotta have my own kind of space.
Yeah, your creative
Organized.
cocoon.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, you know, that kind of, as a creative, I think your space is really important. Like it is, because it helps you generate your ideas, your inspiration process. Like, it's where I can feel calm and relaxed. And if you're not in the right frame of mind, in the right space, like for me as a creative, like I feel like I can't 100% give to my business, and that makes me quite sad, you know. So and you know, the other thing about being in the house is like I'm in the kitchen, like, at the moment, and, like, I'm sat here and I'm like, "Right, I need to do the washing, I need to sort the bins out, I need to do all these things." Whereas if I just got up in the morning, went out to my van, I wouldn't even focus on those things.
I
So
am so with you.
I would when I come back
Honestly.
in the house.
Yeah. This morning before I came on the record, I tidied the kitchen because just the thought of it was really stressing me out. If I
Yeah.
had to work in that space as well, and I did used to create in that space, it was horrendous.
Yeah.
But I think as well, having that separate workspace. So I have a studio in the garden and I have an office where I'm recording this, which is in one of the spare rooms. How fancy do I sound? In the spare room. Um, but it's for me, it's like when you walk in, it's that mental cue that right, I'm in creative zone now, or
Yeah.
right, I'm in get shit done for admin.
Yeah,
Like
you're in
it's yeah,
as
it
a
I've got that visual cue.
yeah, yeah, and it's funny because like, my partner's away a lot filming with his business, and so when I'm in the house on my own, he's not here, kids aren't here, and it's just me and the dogs, my frame of mind, I'm like, "Right, do this, 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 and this." But I think I'm one of those people where I'm a nurturer, and I like to care for everyone. So I like to make sure everybody's okay. And I want the like, even like yesterday before the kids came round, I hoovered everywhere and did the bathrooms. I didn't need to, I only did it like a couple of days ago. But it's like in my head, I'm like, right, I need it all nice. I know I put a candle on, make it all smell nice. But usually any other time, if it's just me, I'm just like, that's quite sad, isn't it? But I but yeah, I can't honestly, I can't wait. Because
Oh,
even for,
it's going to be
like,
amazing.
when I'm, like, now this side of the year is my kind of year for markets as well, and so having a lot of my products ordered, it's like, I can store them in Betsy now, it's so exciting, and I've got my own little storage, cupboard in there, and I could just have all my stuff and be surrounded by all this amazingness, and I'm so excited by it. There's all like there's always some sort of nostalgia and lots of warmth and creativeness and happiness with what I do. There's always, and I think that's why I love vintage, and because you know, you don't know what story that piece has had, you know, and what's gone on with it and where it's been, and you know, and bringing that back to life. I just love it. I think it's incredible. So
Yeah. I mean, story's really important as well. So my next question is,
yeah.
um, what do you think turns a house into a home? Because there is a big distinction for me, but is part of it that story, that vintage element for you?
Yeah, I think so. You know, it's having pieces in your house that resonate with you. You know, it could be things from your childhood, or obviously, you know, you might not have had it that whole time. But I know I've been into many charity shops or antique places, and I've walked in, I've been like, oh my God, my mum used to have that when we were kids, or, "Oh, my nan used to have that," and then I'll go and buy it, 'cause then I'm like, "Oh, it's in my house now, it's amazing," and there's this kind of
Yeah.
like and there's a story. "Oh, yeah, she had that, and it was there, and oh my god, I remember my mum or someone smashed that, and my granddad glued it together," you know? He was always sat, like, when my nan went out, you're like, "Granddad, I bloody smashed this again," and he'd be there with his glue while she's like, you know.
Oh.
So there's all yeah, there's an element to that, and also it's not just about things like we were saying, it's about a feeling, but color is also such an important like, for me, I don't know why, like, I love green, I love nature, I love bringing the outside in because I find it quite calming, but
Mm.
then I love that whole twist, and, like, a bit of quirkiness and a bit of fun, like, I've got my Edgar cheetah and so you know, I'm still evolving as a designer, when I was back at, God, uni about 12 years ago, I graduated, um, I'd say that even when I was there, I didn't know who I was as a designer, as a creative. If anything, it was still my experimental kind of stage, of what I liked, what I didn't like, and where I wanted to go with what I was doing. And literally, this business, I hadn't really started that long ago, but the skills and everything I've got, I've had my whole life.
Probably a good couple of years in the early stages of my art business. I didn't know what my style was. It took a while to get to it
Yeah.
because I think to begin with, you're used to this whole like high school doesn't teach you to be different, it teaches you to conform. And then you go to university and they're like, oh, be critical of everything. So then you're like, oh, I hate this, I hate that. Everything's rubbish.
I know. Oh,
It's,
when I was at
it's
uni,
hard.
they always like were really critical about the angle that I drew something on, or the color that I used. And I do think that it comes to a point, or it came to a point, sorry, when I was at uni, where it is based on an opinion. Because you
Yeah.
either like something or you don't. You
Mhm.
either buy a cushion because you love the design on it, or you don't. Like,
Yeah.
do you know that? So that's where the line kind of crossed for me when I was at uni, and I found it quite confusing and quite hard. So I was like, well, I just want to be myself. I just want to create the things that
Yeah.
I like. And then when I was doing that, they were critical of it. I don't know if you're the same, but as a creative and the way that I work, I'm very hands on. And
Yeah.
when I look back now, I wish that I went into like a placement and I like, for instance, like my sister, she's so different to me. My sister's a nurse. So she left uni, got a degree, went straight into a job. Whereas,
Yeah.
for me, that never happened, But I wish that there was, in a way, I'm not saying that I don't wish I'd gone to uni because there was a lot of things that I'd learned that I didn't even know how to do. But, I would have loved to have like left college and gone and worked in like an upholstery company or something and learned a skill and worked my way in, but then I think, well, if I did that, that's all I would know. So there's a kind of a line, isn't there, of all the things that you
Yeah.
do. And I think, things happen for a reason. I was definitely meant to go to uni and do what I have done and what I've done up until this point as well.
Yeah. Well, I met my husband at uni, so if I hadn't gone to do my teaching degree, my life would be so different. I wouldn't have my husband, I wouldn't have my daughter. It would be, yeah.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you. Like things, I do believe things happen for a reason, and all of
Mm.
these things, they 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 kind of, you know, they build up the recipe of what is us. I feel better when I'm trusting my intuition, and I think when you're creating a home, it's that intuition that helps you to build a space that works for you.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, you can look at as many catalogs as you want and go, "Oh, I'd love that room in my house," but it's still got to work for you, and it's got to have, like you say, your personal touch, like
Yeah.
the eclectic things that you've collected over your lifetime, the memories. It's like it's all that build up of it that makes it like
Yeah.
a
You know,
home.
even when it comes to, my designs, there's always a story. There's always a reason why I've decided to draw that flower or put that cheetah there. Where did that cheetah idea come from? There's always, it's not just a case of, oh, I'm just going to do that. Like it's it's always strategic in some way, even down to like the font that I've used in my business, in my logo and the way that my website looks, and it's all got to be flow, hasn't it? It's all got to have that kind of, so yeah, when it comes to your home, it's got to work for you. It's got to have your personality, what you love, and I think one of the big things is I think a lot of people are scared of color, which is why, a lot of people would just stick to cream and beige and white. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're, for instance, in a rented accommodation,
Mm.
you know, but then you can put your color in your accessories, right? And that's where then your personality can come in, and those colors, it's like something really simple like upcycling is an amazing thing to be able to do and put color in that way. So there's different ways of doing it, and I do think sometimes limitations such as that can stop people and life. Life is so busy, and we're just kind of chasing the next thing, like, "Oh, I've been to work, now we're going to do this." Or, "Now I'm doing that. Oh, I've had a really busy day. Oh, now the kids aren't sleeping." Da, 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 da. And you can really focus down on those things, can't you? But your home should be your sanctuary. So when you've had a busy day at work, you want to come home and you want to sit and chill and feel relaxed and calm. Being in a space that's not chaotic, that's as a person, um, is really important. And like we said, there's a few things that you can do to help you to do that.
Do you have a favorite piece of art or a favorite accessory, piece of
Oh,
furniture that, I don't know, just brings you that that bit of joy that gives you that dopamine boost?
do you know what? Like from what I've created or anything.
Anything,
And
anything, and it doesn't even have to be in your home right now. It might be like a memory of something in a past home or whatever, but is there like something
not,
really special that sticks with you?
I wouldn't say right now, if I'm thinking about right now, I wouldn't say that it's really special, right? But my sofa.
Yeah.
Like, me and my partner waited so long to have a nice sofa. We moved in together and we had like a hand me down from his brother, and it was literally a two-seater, and we were just like, this is ridiculous. Like, imagine me, my partner, two dogs, and two kids, and we're all trying to fit on this sofa. Like, it was ridiculous. And then we had another, and it was all very just like mismatch. And then a couple of months ago? More than that, it was this year, we decided to bite the bullet and buy ourselves a sofa, and honest to God, like, I love it, and it's literally green, obviously.
Amazing.
And it's green velvet. I freaking love it, and it's literally it's like, long, and then it's got like, I should know what I'm talking about, right? But, it's got like, a long bit on the end, that you can lie on and lounge and put your
Yeah.
feet up, and, oh, I just I just love it. It's like a moss green. It's beautiful.
Ooh.
Like, I know, it's gorgeous, like, I love it. And so I'm constantly in there and I'm like, "Dogs get off," and I'm like cleaning it, like, poor
It's a
Prince.
pride and joy. Yeah.
But it's like, I was think having a lovely sofa is like a nice focal point for a space for like your living room, isn't it? That's kind of like what it's all, see it.
Yeah.
And now we've put like the telly on the wall. So it's just like that's the space. And I love it. It's just like, so I'd say that just because, again, down to a feeling, isn't it? It's mad.
Mm.
But like, because waited so long for it, and just like, if you can even like turn it into a bed. Like, it's amazing. It's such a cool sofa. And just having that extra space and having something that we've bought together as well, because we're still going
Yeah.
through all the stuff that I had, he had, and we're like, I remember when we moved in together, we had like, we had um 2 microwaves. We had, like, literally 2 of everything. We had 4, I think it was 4 kettles at one point. I don't know how. I don't So, because I think he had I with his business and spares and, all those and then I'm giving stuff from my family. "Here you go, have this. We don't need it." Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, so we're slowly that's another thing, you've got shit in your environment that you just don't need
Yeah.
or want, and you're having to live in that space. You're just like, "Oh." So it's not like I spend my time sometimes just like organizing drawers and being like, "This is for this is for this." And like in my head now, I know what's in each drawer, and I know, right, that needs to be organized, and it's stressing me out because I know it needs to be done. Another thing, because I'm in the house, it's stupid. It's ridiculous.
Mm.
I
I think it's really natural though, isn't it? You like to feel you
It's
need to
definitely
organise your space.
yeah, it's definitely a woman thing. Because my partner doesn't care. He does not
No.
care.
My
He
husband couldn't care less
doesn't
either.
no, could care less. Like, even hoovering. I'm like, "Can you help me? Can you do a bit of hoovering?" "Yeah, yeah, I'll do it when I've got a spare 5 minutes." "When's that then?" Like, "Never." Like, that's a stupid thing to say. So that's why
I,
you
I
do most
will
things.
I will caveat that with he is does pull his weight with housework and things, but he
Oh,
couldn't
mind it.
care less if the cupboards were like the
No,
all.
no.
Mind having said that, he did the other day. I came down and I don't like he has these phases. Like he'll not care for ages and then one day he'll just decide that something needs sorting. So he did organize the baking cupboard
Oh, okay.
and clean that out. But I
Yeah.
think that has been a shit tip probably for the entire like 11 years or whatever since we moved in.
It's mad,
Um,
isn't it?
but he
Like,
just decided the other weekend it needed doing. So he is fab. He does pull his weight, because he probably will listen to this and then come and complain to me if I
we're just comparing.
if I doing down. My next question was, "What's your favorite room?" But I don't know if we've maybe touched on that. But, like for I guess for relaxation, is your living room your favorite room? Now you've got that beautiful sofa and you feel like you can really chill out, or is there another space where it's like your proper sanctuary?
Do you know what? No. I don't actually have anywhere in the house right now that is my proper sanctuary.
No.
Um, which is why I'm so excited for Betsy because that's gonna
Yeah.
be my and I think for me to have something as a sanctuary, like I need things to be tidy. I want things to be
Mm.
put away, sit down, you know, chill out. But no, I d- and I don't necessarily think it's what I've got in the rooms, because as we were saying, I love what I've got in my head. I think it's the actual house itself, which is a different thing again. Um, like I said, like my living room is weird. It's like it's not square. It's like it's long,
Yeah.
so it's really dark. Um, because on the front we've got like a porch, so it covers the window as well. So we don't have much light coming into that space, and like in how sometimes the way it's laid out, it doesn't kind of align with like what do they call it? Your feng shui or the
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my god, like, why is that way? Why is that like?" And it completely stresses and annoys me, and, like, you'll open the door and it'll, like, knock into a piece of furniture, and I'm always our handles, they flick up on the end. They're not
Yeah.
straight, so sometimes I'll walk past and I've ripped my clothes sometimes, honestly. Like, oh, I've got a bruise on my arm 'cause I've whacked into the little metal bit that comes out when you open the door. And I've
Yeah.
proper, like, and my partner's done the same, and it's just a hard work of a house. Um, and so that's the other reason, because we don't own this house, and it was something that we moved into when we came together, essentially. We've been together nearly 4 years now, and running businesses and things still we're not at that place quite yet to be able to buy a house. So we're still living here, we're still renting. And so that, like I was saying about, there's certain things you can do, there's certain things that you can't do, and like
Yeah.
we're in our heads we're like, we really want to knock this wall down. And we're living in this house and we're thinking of all these things that we can do and we can't do it because we don't own it, and it's really frustrating. And you have like this envisage, view of like how the house could look. It's not going to look like that because we don't own it. So, there's doing those things then, isn't there, that make it a little bit more um yours in a
Yeah.
sense, and like I was saying about the little cushion here. And but that's why as well, which I think is really important, like in my collection, in my wallpaper, I've got a wallpaper that's an adhesive, so you can put it on but you can take it down as well, like those tiles that you get.
Oh,
So
yeah.
for rented accommodation and things like that, you can still make a space yours in that sense. You can still do what you there's no restrictions, which I think is getting rid of those restrictions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
That's so clever. That's such a good idea. I
yeah.
really wish that we'd had something like that when we were renting, because we did eventually just get in touch with the landlord and say, right, all of this magnolia is driving us insane. Can we
Yeah.
paint one wall in each room? And he was like, yeah, yeah, you can, but you'll have to paint it back when you leave. Um,
Yeah.
in the end, he actually quite liked it, so he didn't make us paint it back when we left, which was really good.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? And there's so many different discrepancies with rented houses, I think,
Mm.
because I think hear these stories that are horrendous, and you think, well, once you know you've got a good tenant that looks after the house, and you should be able to live in it like it's your
Yeah,
home. You might never, but these days, crikey, it's so expensive to buy a property. You might not ever end up buying your own home. So therefore, having a rented accommodation and making it yours, I think, sitting at, we were saying at the beginning of this recording, and you're like, you just talk about things and you don't know what you're actually going to talk about. I didn't think I was going to talk about this. And actually,
yeah.
this is part of my brand story, really. And so helping people who are in that situation is really important. So that's really interesting. I'm going to have to think about that for my brand in itself,
There's
really.
definitely content on that, Lauren.
Yeah,
There's
there is, isn't
definitely
there?
content. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Well, yeah, like, especially for my website, I think it'd be really, I'm gonna have a page on there that's just gonna be like story. I've got my about, but I've got my story, and talking about this type of thing would be really interesting.
Yeah, it would. Definitely. Okay. So where is your absolute happy place then? It does not have to be in a building. Um, for me, it is being by the coast. But where do you feel that you're happiest, you're most sort of centered?
I'm in my hometown of Shrewsbury in Shropshire, which again is also a part of my brand. I love my hometown. I love, just like when I take the dogs for a walk, near me there's like it's not a forest, but there's lots of trees, and there's lots of, and you walk through and you can just hear the birds and the trees just moving, and it's just lovely and calm. Um and just the countryside, and I love it. It's just like ingrained in me from way back when, really, and I just love it
Yeah.
there.
When you're there, does it have this sort of magical switch that like instantly changes your blood pressure and puts you in more of a zen state?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, I just, I love. It's like, you walk around the streets at home, and I'm like, yeah, I used to go there when I was at college. Used to go, and I used to go in there with my dad, and we used to do this, and we used to do that. Like, I love it. It's just the streets and everything. It's just got, it tells a story, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
um, even going in the market hall now, when I was a kid, it was crap. It was so bad. It was really bad. Honestly, it was so bad. Used to have like a little chip shop upstairs and that was it. And I mean, now the market hall is just phenomenal. So, they had like ITV there this week, I think it was. Like it's amazing. And just how much Shrewsbury itself really um, accommodates and promotes artisans and creatives is amazing, and that's something that again wasn't there when I was younger, and now that's something that's grown, and so that nostalgic feeling of when like I was in the market for the first time in end of July, I think it was. God, I don't even know where the time's gone. It's ridiculous. Um, and actually having my stand there, I just literally had to stand and just take it all in. I was like, I used to walk around here and I was like 5 with my nan, and we used to go for food and up to the chippy and, walk around, and my nan and go down to the bottom and get a meat from the butcher, and, and I think preserving those things are so important, because I just think now I sound like an old person. I sound like an old lady. I'm not, but like technology is just taking over the life that I had when I was a kid. Honestly, I feel sorry for kids these days. Just that
Yeah,
that just those experiences, and not having a phone attached to them every 5 minutes and being bored when they're not on something, it's just quite sad. And so preserving all of those things, and
yeah,
um for me in my life as a person, but in my brand and my business as well. And trying to keep that flowing is really
yeah.
for me.
I think, like, we can't escape the online world. I mean, both of us
No, I
have
know.
online businesses, but there is something really wonderful about the kind of hands-on, the experience of being in a room with something, the smells, the sounds, all of that. I feel the
Yeah.
same way when I like so in the summer I was part of Lancaster Art Fair and I had, this section of a wall in a gorgeous gallery and there was the preview and you got to talk to people coming in and look at the art. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the same when you face to face with people at markets and things like that. It's I mean the online has to sort of weave into that as well because that's the world we live in now. But
Oh,
I
yeah,
think I think, like, it is really beautiful to see that,
Mhm.
um, markets seem to be getting a bit of a revival that's, like, there is so much nostalgia attached to it. I know in Newcastle, we've got the Granger Market. I didn't grow up here, um, but I've been around here for
Mhm.
the best part of 20 years, and the Granger Market is such a wonderful place to go. Like, it's always been pretty busy, but now it's like it's the
You're right,
real
actually.
hub for, like, street foods and things like that. There's so many incredible like, you could really put on some dress sizes.
But going out in person and meeting people and just people's reactions and
Mm.
all that stuff is so important. And so I think that's part of my kind of 2026 mission as well, is to be more in person. Um,
Yeah,
I think right now I've been in a bit of a building uh, phase, as it were, and getting things in a place, and I've been doing a bit here and there, and getting Betsy kind of done as well because she's gonna come to events with me, and people can come.
yeah.
Yeah, people can come in, and yeah, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be really amazing.
Sounds incredible. And I think as well, when you create products and you create like we do, art, illustrations, things that people are bringing into their home, they really need to experience it in person because it's an emotional connection that they develop for that thing. It's the nostalgia, the story, um the attachment. And
Yeah.
you don't get that on a screen. Like you can appreciate that something is pretty, but I
It's
think
nice, yeah.
yeah, but I think that in-person element is really important too. So I want you to imagine now that you um, can have your dream home and tell us what that dream home would be like. Like, where would it be? What would the rooms be like? Are there any like particular elements you want? I know you said about like one thing that you don't love about your living room is the lack of light in there. So does it need to be a really well lit space with gorgeous big windows? Talk me through it.
I absolutely love old old houses, something that I could do up. The old flooring, um, wooden floor, fireplace, tall ceilings, big bay window, a beautiful front door that I could paint. um, my garden is really important to me as well. I'd love an allotment. I'd lo I'd love an allotment. Just something that yeah, beautiful flowers everywhere. I love mixing the, old and the new together. So for me, like my kitchen would be I like open plan to a degree.
Mm.
Um, so like here, like where I was saying about knocking down a wall, um, the living room would then kind of come into the kitchen, and we've got like the seating, and then here at the back, the bifolding doors. So that would flow, Um, So it's that something like that if you've got an old style house, then you've got like the bifolding doors on the back, and you just go into the garden, and yeah, somewhere that I could entertain and have a beautiful kitchen, and yeah. Am I am I explaining this in a good way?
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that want a gigantic, massive house because again, I like something that's lovely and cozy and homely, and I think when you've got something that's a massive and it's just got too much space, that doesn't feel homely to me.
Yeah.
So it's that balance of not something that's really small, but and it would be in the countryside, Shropshire. It would be, um, yeah. I'm more of a as I'm getting older, like, when I was a kid, we used to go and visit the beach, 'cause we obviously don't have that around there. You'd have to travel about 2 hours to get to a beach. Um, but actually, as I'm getting older, I do prefer I prefer, like, countryside and, walks and things like but and I don't know if that's because of the dogs maybe, I don't know. But, yeah, I'd love to live somewhere I could go out my front door and I could just go for beautiful country walks and have, like, a lovely artisan, um, you know, shop, bakery, down the road. I could get all my amenities and but not be too far from the town either. I know I'm asking a lot, but
It sounds amazing. It sounds fabulous.
yeah, not I think it's from your like experiences, isn't it, in life? Because it's these things that I've plucked from places I've visited and things I've seen that I love, and then you try and put it all together and you know sometimes you're gonna get one thing and not the other, and but yeah, if I could, that would be what I would have.
Yeah. I definitely think that when you've lived in rented accommodation as well, you develop a lot of opinions about, like you say, what you would do if it was your place.
Yeah.
And definitely when we then got to the stage of buying our own place, we'd already made loads of decisions about, the fact that there would be no magnolia, and that was top of the list. And XYZ,
Yeah.
we'd already lived together, so we knew kind of how we operated in each other's space.
Yeah.
So I think that really helps you to know what it is that works for you as
Yeah.
well.
Well, shall I tell you a little bit of a secret? I mean, it's not going to be, so it's going to be on the air now. But we actually went and viewed a house yesterday.
Ooh.
I know. I know. Um, but when we went to see it, we didn't realise, but it was actually an up for auction house, which is totally like not what we um envisaged, really. So there's quite a lot of competition. So we're kind of not holding up for it, but that house in itself, something like what that was, would be amazing. So it was like I want to say like pre-war, maybe. So,
Yeah.
and it had lovely outhouses, that we could convert, and lovely, like I was saying about the high ceilings, and just a lot more considering, like, I'm in a new build right now, and they're supposed to be a bit more airy and light, but I just think they're pokey and quite small, really. And that house was actually, I'd say, I mean, it was the same amount of bedrooms as this one, and the bedrooms were smaller, but it still felt bigger in there.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know why. I think it's like maybe the style period of the property, but just the layout was so lovely. And the living room was just beautiful as well. And so even go when you go and do things like that, and you're walking around, you're like, right, I'm gonna do this, and I'll do that, and
Mm. You do. You walk in and you immediately start thinking, oh, well, we could have our sofa here and this would be really great there. And
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But like I mean, the one thing that I absolutely loved, right? The bathroom was like brown. Like I've never seen a brown bathroom ever. So like the brown,
Wow.
I know, but not that. That was horrible. But the tiles, right, on the walls were just magnificent. I loved them. They were brown, but they looked like geometric, almost like a bit like watercolory, but they look geometric, so they, like, came out on it. So they were
Oh,
gorgeous, they were amazing. And the thing with, like, going around a property like that, a lot of the stuff in the house was being left. So they had,
yeah.
like, a beautiful wooden dining table with chairs, and the chairs, actually, the fabric was green velvet. I was like, "Oh my god, mate." So so there was, it was that type of thing where I could go in because again, like, those pieces in that house, they've had a story, people were eating around that table, and some people might find that really creepy and go like, "Oh god, get rid of it." Uh, well, it was why people buy new, or don't shop in charity shops, who knows? But yeah, having something like that and then giving it a new lease of life is, for
Yeah.
me, that's just beautiful in itself, like, so yeah, I'm a bit gutted because I don't think we got it. But it's something to
Fingers crossed, though. You never know.
it's something
And
to work towards, isn't it? It's our first
yeah,
one. It's our first one we've looked at. So yeah, it's one of those ones that potentially wouldn't be our forever home, but it would be something that we would live in for a substantial amount of time, So
yeah.
yeah, who knows? Fingers crossed.
Exciting. Right. Are you ready for the quick fire questions?
Oh God, okay.
Oh, there's nothing too scary in
It's
here.
not do you know what? It's not that. I feel like my brain doesn't work quick enough. And you're like a bit, I'll be like,
Well, with these, you get two choices.
oh,
So
okay.
you're just picking one.
Oh, okay, that's good. Okay.
Yeah. So there's there's not too much of a big decision. And
Okay.
you've already kind of answered one of them as well. So that one's going to be really easy.
Okay.
So first one is classic or modern,
Classic.
maximalist or minimalist.
Maximalist.
I think I could answer all of these for you already after looking at them. Country or city,
Country.
swimming pool or games room,
Swimming pool.
chef or cleaner.
Oh. Oh, that's hard.
It is the hardest one.
Chef.
You'd go chef.
Yeah, because technically I do have my own chef because my partner cooks, right? And cleaning, I clean. And my thing is, feel I know this is awful, but you feel like someone else won't come in and do it as good as you. But
Oh,
with a cleaner, if I was to have a cleaner, I would have them to come in to do like a deep clean. But like a keep on top of it type do thing, I'm happy to do it myself.
yeah. See, I would never have survived as a housewife. I
Yeah.
I'm kind of cooking wise, I'm decent and the ready steady cook style cook in the house. My husband is the I've
Green
got the
pepper or red
recipe.
pepper?
It is so yeah, exactly. Um, but cleaning, it is yeah, my standards are not great. And my mum has suggested many times it's because she is the same and she never instilled that in me. But
Oh.
do you know what? We've all got different priorities, haven't we?
See,
It's clean enough in my house.
oh,
It is safe.
see, it's opposite with me. Like my mum, she's constant. To the point it does do your head in. To the point where you're there, and I will lift the dog up to put him back on the floor. Like it's that. um, or the dogs will come in and they'll make a mess. She's like, "Oh my god, you met!" And then the next minute she's like got the mop out. She's like proper Miss Bouquet. But I think as I've grown older, I've been like, right, there's a balance, and I've got
Mm.
now, like I keep on top of it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've learned if I leave it, that's just a bad idea. Like because of dogs as well, So
Yeah.
and it's just like dust and I think it's because I've got old stuff in my house. I think that's what it is. I think I've just got dust everywhere that comes from shit. So but, like, now I'm pretty good, so it'd be, like, once a week I'll go round, I might hoover a couple of times, but I'm pretty not as bad as I used to be.
I think
Long story
it is
short.
all about balance. I think that's the theme for today's chat, hasn't it? It's
Mm.
balance.
Yeah.
Balancing the old and the new, balancing how you feel in a space, and
And do you know
balancing
what?
how
That's
much cleaning
something
you do.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I battle with on a daily basis, which is why I know I keep going on about it, but I have Betsy because she is part of that life balance, and it's one of the reasons why I have my own business because that also helps me to create balance and when things are busy, creating it's everything and it's a lifestyle as well, isn't it? And so, but it will get to a point I'm sure where it will all just be lovely.
Well,
Optimistically, she says.
Betsy's gonna completely transform the way
Ugh.
you work. I have no doubt about that. It's
Oh.
been the same for me with like getting my studio and separate office space sorted has definitely helped because it means that whichever room I'm walking into, I'm
Mm.
in the zone for that kind of area of my business. And then I walk out, cup of tea in the kitchen,
Yeah.
feet up on the sofa.
That's it, isn't it? Being in the zone, and that's the thing. Like I think when I'm in different rooms, like different rooms in the house, my zone will change. It's very weird. I think I am very much an emotionally led person. It's probably
Mm.
to do with being a creative. Um, and it definitely rules me to the point where it can quite overwhelm me to the point of having a feeling in a certain space. If the mood's not right, my God, like I can't cope with it. It's mad. It is mad. It's weird. It's an intuitive feeling. I'm
Yeah,
surprised I can't see ghosts
definitely.
if I'm honest. It's another conversation. Um,
Well, I think that that is such a beautiful way to leave it. I think I'm going to put that as the quote on the. I'm surprised I can't see ghosts on
Be
the
like,
front
what
cover.
the hell is they talking about?
Oh, as we cackle and I fade it out. Oh, thank you so much for coming on and chatting to me today. Um,
Thanks for
it
having
has
me.
just been a total joy. You've given me my dopamine boost for today.
Yay!
Yeah. Thank you for joining us for episode 2 of the Curated Nest podcast. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get the next episode when it launches. See you soon.